Business news in association with ICFC Finance Limited, your complete banking solution. LG Smart Refrigerator, NB Bank Limited, the bank for everyone.
Good evening, welcome to News 10:30. This is Rashna Powder. Let's begin with the headlines. Much awaited new constitution to be promulgated on September 20. Constituent Assembly endorses 57 articles of the revised bill of the Constitution of Nepal 2015. President Yadav writes to Chairman Nemwang to bring stakeholders on constitution-making process. World number 1 Djokovic beats Federer in 4 dramatic sets to win his second US Open. And Australia to get new Prime Minister as Abbott quits as leader of Liberal Party.
जिन्दगी भरको कमाईबाट बन्ने घर हेर्दा मात्रै राम्रो भएर हुँदैन, तर तपाईले अब छान्नु छ एउटा यस्तो सिमेन्ट जुन टिक्छ पुस्तौं पुस्तासम्म। त्यसैले आफ्नो घर बनाउने इन्जिनियर र निर्माण व्यवसायीहरूलाई खुलेर भन्नुहोस्, मेरो घर अम्बे सिमेन्टबाट नै बन्नुपर्छ। अम्बे सिमेन्ट, यो देशको शिर उच्च राख्दै।
अब रेड बुल कैश पुल को पुल ऑफरिंग में नगद पुरस्कार अझ धेरैलाई रु 1000, 2000, 5000, 10000, 20000 र 1 लाख।
अब रेड बुल में कैश जित्ने अझै धेरै चान्स।
रेड बुल, the one and only energy drink.
लाप्सी मुख रसिलो हजमोला मुख चटपटे लाप्सी र हजमोला मुख चटपटे रसिलो
देख्यो कि मुखै रसाउने कप नखाइ चित्तै नबुझ्ने जति बेला नि खान हुने अरूलाई पनि खुवाउन मन लाग्ने हजमोला लाप्सी भेट भयो सबको मुखै रसायो।
हजमोला लाप्सीको स्वादै रसिलो खाएपछि सबको मुखै रसिलो।
स्ट्याम्प पासपोर्ट्स लियो, टिकट प्रिन्ट आउट। यो के गरेर तिमी?
सक्कर आको बन्द गर्नु हैन?
किन?
इलेक्ट्रिसिटी वेस्ट
केही जरुरत छैन। जाने हैन? फ्लाइट मिस हुन्छ, एक्स्ट्रा एफिसिएन्सी, एक्स्ट्रा स्पेस, एक्स्ट्रा फास्ट कुलिङ र केही एक्स्ट्रा बजेट म्यानेजरको लागि पनि।
आरती प्रिमियम चामल प्रस्तुत गर्दछ हात खाली नहुने नगद स्क्रैच कुपनहरू। प्रत्येक बोरा भित्र राखिएका कुपन स्क्रैच गरी रु 40 देखि रु 1000 सम्म नगद प्राप्त गर्नुहोस्। आरती स्क्रैच एन्ड विन धमाका। आरती प्रिमियम चामल, शुभारम्भ शुभ दिनको।
एक हात तिम्रो एक हात मेरो मिली जुली चम्काऊ देशको नाम हाम्रो। मान पाई सानोले शिर उठाई नेपालको झन्डा फरफराऊ। जित पार्छ खुसी साट्छ चपाउँछ गाडी। ABC चोइस हाम्रो।
ABC चोइस इन्स्टेन्ट नुडल्स प्रोटिन र मिनरल्स ले युक्त। मेरो चोइस सबैको चोइस। ABC चोइस।
Welcome back. Now the news in detail. The country will get the much-awaited new constitution on September 20, Sunday. President Dr. Rambaran Yadav will introduce new constitution of Nepal. The arrangements have been made accordingly. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Susil Koirala was expected to meet the President this evening, but due to the schedule of the President, the meeting was cancelled. Similarly, CA Chairman Subhash Chandra Nemwang will meet the state head on Tuesday at around 9 a.m. and formally invite the latter for the new constitution unveiling ceremony. He was expected to meet today. However, the meeting was rescheduled for tomorrow owing the President's busy schedule. The Constituent Assembly meeting on Monday endorsed 57 articles of the revised bill of the Constitution of Nepal 2015. At the meet, the CA rejected the amendment proposal on directive principles, policies and responsibilities of the state registered by Chitra Bahadur Kesi and Kamal Thapa. The amendment proposal submitted by Rashtriya Prajatantra Party Nepal's to declare Nepal as a Hindu nation by scrapping secularism as mentioned in the revised draft has been rejected by a majority during the voting at Constitution Assembly today. The amendment proposal was put to vote after the party chairman Kamal Thapa refused to withdraw his proposal. CA chairman put the proposal on vote and was rejected by a voice majority. Two other lawmakers, Bhaskar Bada and Kumar Khadka, had also registered amendment proposals for Hindu state. Leader Thapa also demanded for a split voting on his proposal, but had received the backing of only 21 lawmakers. According to CA rules, 61 members are required for a proposal to be put on split voting. The Constituent Assembly has endorsed the continuation of the current national flag with majority votes during clause-wise voting on the Constitution Bill on Monday. Article 8 of the bill has provision on national flag. CA has retained cow as the national animal after majority turned down the demand of replacing cow by a rhino as a national animal. CA members Chintra Bahadur Kesi, Sivalal Thapa, Yasoda Kumari Lama, among others, had registered an amendment proposal to replace cow by rhino as the national animal. Similarly, the meeting passed the Article 10 of Part 2 of the revised Bill of Constitution as two proposal tables from some lawmakers seeking to amend the articles were rejected. Likewise, an amendment proposal received in the provision of citizenship based on descent and citizenship with sexual identity in the Article 12 was rejected with majority. No amendment proposal was received in Article 13. Likewise, Article 14 states the provision of granting non-resident Nepali citizenship. The meeting has been put off until 10 a.m. on Tuesday. A day after the Constituent Assembly started voting on the draft constitution, the Office of the President on Monday released the letter that President Dr. Ram Baran Yadav on September 11 wrote to the Constituent Assembly Chairman Subhash Chandra Nemwang. In the letter, the ceremonial head of the state has asked the CA chairperson bring all the stakeholders on board the constitution-making process and thereby indirectly suggesting him to put off the purported voting process on the new charter for the time being. In the two-page letter, the President has stated that efforts should be made to the extent possible to ensure that no group, community or region quits the constitution-making process. He has stated that there is still time to make effort until last moment to make the Constitution an inclusive and supreme law of the country by realizing the significance of the CA process and the participation of the forces that represent in the CA. He stressed on starting dialogue process within the CA in order to win confidence of the disgruntled forces. President Dr. Yadav has been recently criticized by the leaders of major parties for his statements, which they say are not on a par with his ceremonial position. Referring to some media reports, the President had asked the CA chairman to hold the purported voting process in order to hold dialogue with disgruntled forces. However, Constitution Drafting Committee Chairman Krishna Prasad Sitaola had said nobody was above the Constitution and he did not want to believe that the President, who was elected by the CA, would have said so or try to interfere in the decision of sovereign body. The President said the constitution-making process was considered as a supreme role to unite everybody, including all communities, region and ethnic groups. The President urged all the CA members through the CA chair to utilize the opportunity to frame a new constitution that could bind all Nepalese together. The President stated in the letter that while carving out provinces, the scientific criteria and expert opinion should be followed. In the 7-point letter, the President said he was attaching a copy of his opinion and suggestion on the draft constitution for the CA's record. It's time for a short break. Please stay tuned.
संसार जोड़ने यही छड़ आकाश चुना पूछा खेल मारम्दै मनमा बस्दै सबलाई साथ दिन्छ छड्कै आडमा बन्छ विशाल बाँध पुल भवन निर्माण होस् कि जिन्दगी जगदम्बा छड्दै
अब आईएसआई चिन्हद्वारा प्रमाणित देशको मेरुदण्ड जगदम्बा स्टील
पल सहाराको खुशियाली हर पल को जिम्मेवारी यसैमा छ यसैको काँधमा छ
अनुभवी भरपर्दो र मजबूत एक जिम्मेवार ओपीसी सिमेन्ट जगदम्बा अल्ट्रा प्रिमियम ओपीसी सिमेन्ट
Hey, how's the new house looking? Hello.
It's presenting the new Aspira from Royale, a paint technologically so advanced it comes with a 5-year warranty and Teflon surface protector. Aspira from Royale, it's beyond words.
यो हो वज्रशक्ति सिमेन्ट सशक्त र दिगो निर्माणको लागि नेपाल गुणस्तर चिन्ह प्राप्त वज्रशक्ति सिमेन्ट शक्ति र रक्षाको प्रतीक।
बच्चाहरू होमवर्क गर्न अल्छी गर्थे, अनेक बहाना गर्थे। अहिले मिडास ई क्लास दिएपछि सजिलो भएको छ। कार्टुन मन पराउने बच्चाहरूलाई मिडास ई क्लासमा भिडियो हेर्दै, गेम खेल्दै पढ्न पाए अरु के चाहियो र?
मिडास ई क्लासमा त मेरो किताबको सबै लेसनहरुको अडियो भिडियो छ अनि गेम पनि छ।
आजको युगमा मिडास ई क्लास प्रयोग नगरे त बच्चाहरू पछि परिहाल्छन् नि।
म राजेश हमाल यस पटकको नाडा अटो शोमा गएर गाडीको सम्पूर्ण जानकारी सहित आफ्नो रोजाइको गाडी रोज्न जाँदैछु। के तपाईहरू पनि रोज्न आउँदै हुनुहुन्छ? यही मिति 2072 भाद्र 29 देखि असोज 3 गतेसम्म काठमाडौँको भृकुटी मण्डपमा हुन गइरहेको नेपालकै सर्वाधिक बृहत अटो शो नाडा अटो शोमा तपाईहरू पनि सहभागी हुनुहोस्।
छरिएका सपनाहरू जब एक हुन्छ लाखौंको भिडमा पनि उसले आकाश हुन्छ। युगौं युग नमेटिने इतिहास रचाई जोड्दैछ सारा नेपालीलाई जोड्दैछ सारा नेपालीलाई।
सिद्धार्थ सिमेन्ट जोड्दैछ सारा नेपालीलाई।
I want to tell you something about the paint I've been using in my new home.
Technology and innovation with 5-year warranty and Teflon surface protector make Royale Aspira so beautiful that it's beyond words.
Welcome back. Now 24 social development update. According to Food and Agricultural Organization FAO, prolonged dry weather associated with the El Nino phenomenon has severely reduced this year's cereal outputs in El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras and Nicaragua, putting a large number of farmers in need of agricultural assistance as the sub-region tries to recover amidst ongoing dryness. A report.
This is the second consecutive year that the region's main season cereal harvest has been negatively affected by severe dry weather related to El Nino. The Central American Agricultural Council, headed by Agriculture Minister of the sub-region, has declared a state of alert after hundreds of thousands of subsistence farmers have suffered the partial or total loss of their crops planted for the main grain season that runs from May to September. Early estimates from Central America's main D Prima harvest suggest declines of as much as 60% of maize and 80% of beans due to dry weather caused by El Nino, a weather phenomenon characterized by abnormal warming of surface waters in the eastern Pacific Ocean. El Nino-related dry spells are known to delay planting, reduce planting areas and stifle crop development. With hundreds of thousands of families affected by severe food losses, the governments of El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras and Nicaragua have begun distributing agricultural aid packages, including seeds, fertilizers and irrigation pumps, to help farmers recover as much as possible in the second planting season now underway. 3 out of the 4 countries have also begun distributing direct food aid to help families cope with severe food shortages. This year's El Nino's impact are even more intense than last. After 2 years of intensifying dry weather, it's critical that they support farmers to recuperate some of their losses by helping them achieve stronger yields in the second season. Those farmers now planting second season crops, meanwhile, are doing so under exceptionally dry conditions. With near certainty that El Nino conditions will continue into early 2016, second season output will likely also be limited by severe dry weather. At an estimated 3 million tons across the sub-region, this year's maize harvest is expected to be far below average and some 8% below last year's already compromised harvest. Production declines are expected to be particularly sharp in El Salvador and Honduras, which both saw 60% of their maize crops destroyed by the irregular rainfall earlier this year. In El Salvador alone, losses are estimated at $28 million in seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, and land preparation. Honduras additionally saw 80% of its beans perish. In Guatemala's most affected areas, some 80% of crops are estimated to have been lost, including 55,000 tons of maize and 11,500 tons of beans, affecting over 150,000 families. While there is still a chance for farmers in the dry corridor to make up for some of those losses of beans in the second season, insufficient rain is likely to prohibit maize from maturing and prevent farmers from recovering those losses. In Nicaragua, early estimates suggest 50% of the total planted area has been damaged, with total crop losses in the country's most severely affected regions. Countries across the sub-region have increased imports of staple foods from other parts of Latin America to increase availability of food and keep prices stable. In El Salvador, Honduras, and Nicaragua, maize prices have remained significantly above last year's level, with increases of as much as 20% in Honduras. Guatemala is the only country in the dry corridor that has managed to bring prices down from August last year, thanks to import from Mexico and improved supplies from the ongoing 2015 main harvest.
It's now time for a business update.
Business news in association with ICFC Finance Limited, your complete banking solution. LG Smart Refrigerator, NB Bank Limited, the bank for everyone.
Nepal jumped 20 places to rank 106th out of 157 countries and territories, including in the Economic Freedom of the World 2015 annual report released today by Samriddhi, the Prosperity Foundation, in conjunction with Canada's Fraser Institute. Last year, Nepal was ranked 126 out of 152 countries, with an overall score of 6.56 in a scale of 1 to 10, where a higher value indicates a higher level of economic freedom. Nepal ranked 106 out of 157 countries in this year's index. With this, Nepal had jumped 20 places up in the global ranking. Last year, Nepal ranked 126 out of 152 countries with a score of 6.16. The country audit report released alongside the index examines specific areas of economic policies to understand how they contribute to the current state of economic freedom in Nepal, and has come up with recommendations for a series of reforms. Furthermore, Samriddhi also released 6 new studies during the program under the banner Liberating Nepali Enterprises. These studies provide specific case examples to the constraint highlighted in the country audit report and examine the following topics: cost of registering a private school in Nepal, cost of complying with applicable education regulations, cost of taxi licensing in Bagmati zone, understanding why cartels exist in Nepal's public transportation, cost of firing employees in Nepal, and property rights. Time for another short break. Do stay with us.
सानो होस् या ठुलो, निर्माण बलियो हुन जरुरी छ। ओरिएन्ट पीपीसी सिमेन्ट, बलियो निर्माणको लागि।
टेक्नोलोजी सँगै हामी पनि अघि बढिरहेका छौं। हरेक कुरा डिजिटल भइरहेको छ भने टिभी हेर्ने तरिका किन सधैँ उस्तै त? त्यसैले त हामीले घरमा क्लियर टिभी जोडिसक्यौं।
धेरै एचडी च्यानलहरू सहित प्रष्ट टिभी हेराइको अनुभव लिनका लागि घर ल्याउनुहोस् क्लियर टिभी।
प्लिज डिनर रेडी भइसक्यो, जाऊ न।
क्लियर टिभी।
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the sports update.
Sports news in association with Red Bull, the one and only energy drink.
World number 1 Novak Djokovic beat Roger Federer in 4 dramatic sets to win his second US Open and 10th Grand Slam title. The Serb won 6-4, 5-7, 6-4, 6-4 in New York and will end the year with 3 of the 4 tennis majors. Djokovic, 28, kept his nerve in front of a heavily pro-Federer crowd at Flushing Meadows. The 34-year-old Swiss had been hoping to win his 18th major title and his first for 3 years. In a raucous night session on Arthur Ashe Stadium, after the start of play was delayed by more than 3 hours because of rain, Federer looked to have a real chance in the third set. However, Djokovic broke the Federer serve 6 times and saved 19 of 23 break points as he battled his way to a 27th win in 28 Grand Slam matches this year. Djokovic took another step towards joining the very best in history with the 10th major title, moving him within one of the Bjorn Borg and Rod Laver in the all-time list. Defeat by Stan Wawrinka in the French Open final in June means the Serb were just 1 win short of completing the first calendar Grand Slam in men's tennis since Laver in 1969. Manchester United forward Wayne Rooney has been left out of the squad for Tuesday's Champions League game at PSV Eindhoven because of injury. Rooney, 29, did not play in Saturday's 3-1 win against Liverpool after straining his hamstring in training. Red Devils boss Louis van Gaal said after the game he would be a doubt for the trip to the Netherlands and has decided not to risk him. Striker James Wilson and midfielder Andreas Pereira are in the squad. Neither player has made an appearance this season, with Wilson recently linked with a loan move to a championship side. Pereira, meanwhile, has made just 2 substitute appearances for the club since joining from PSV in August last year. Tuesday's Champions League game at the Philips Stadium marks the start of Manchester United's Group B campaign. Time now for some international update. The Interior Ministry says security forces in Egypt have mistakenly killed 12 people, including Mexican tourists, during an anti-terror operation. The tourists were traveling in 4 vehicles that entered a restricted zone in the Wahat area of the Western Desert. The ministry said sources said 8 of those killed were Mexicans. 10 Mexicans and Egyptians were also injured. Egypt has been battling Islamist militants for years. Attacks on army and police, mainly in Sinai Peninsula, have escalated since Islamist President Mohamed Morsi was ousted in 2013. Mexico's President Enrique Pena Nieto condemned the incident and said he had demanded an exhaustive investigation by the Egyptian government. The Mexican Foreign Ministry said Mexico's ambassador in Egypt had visited the local hospital and spoken to 5 Mexicans who were in a stable condition. Australia is to have a new Prime Minister after Tony Abbott was ousted as leader of the centre-right Liberal Party by Malcolm Turnbull. In the hastily arranged party leadership ballot, PM Abbott, who had been plagued by poor opinion polls, received 44 votes to Turnbull's 54. Turnbull said he assumed that Parliament would serve its full term, implying no snap general election. The new leader will be Australia's 4th Prime Minister since 2013. The Prime Minister-elect is expected to be sworn in after PM Abbott writes to Australia's Governor-General and resigns. The vote took place at a meeting of Liberal MPs late on Monday. They also voted for Foreign Minister Julie Bishop to remain deputy leader of the party. Speaking after the result was announced, Turnbull praised his predecessor for his formidable achievements as Prime Minister. The new party leader said Australia needed to have the economic vision, a leadership that explains the great challenges and opportunity we face. He said he will lead a thoroughly liberal government committed to freedom, the individual and the market. Let's now take a look at the weather update. And that was the weather update. Before we wrap up, headlines one more time. Much awaited new constitution to be promulgated on September 20. Constituent Assembly endorses 57 articles of the revised bill of the Constitution of Nepal 2015. President Yadav writes to Chairman Nemwang to bring stakeholders on constitution-making process. World number 1 Djokovic beats Federer in 4 dramatic sets to win his second US Open. And Australia to get new Prime Minister as Abbott quits as leader of Liberal Party. And that brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you for watching news. Good night. Namaste.